kills discovery faster than the fear of uncertainty. I used to think I was giving my sons what they needed, presence. But the truth is that I was an absent father. And not because I wasn't there, but because I couldn't stay there in the present moment. Chronic clinical depression, generalized anxiety disorder, and ADD kept me miles away from my children, even when I was sitting right next to them. I was disengaged, depressed, reactive, and impulsive. Trying so hard to be the perfect father while secretly feeling like the worst. I remember taking them to the park, a huge park where we used to live. I was physically there, but mentally gone. So gone that my 2-year-old son got lost. And that's when the voice inside me attacked me. You son of a bitch, how could you? You're the worst piece of shit. You cannot control anything. That voice dragged me straight down to the rabbit hole. My sons kept growing, time kept moving, and they came to pre-adolescence, adolescence, and that's the moment when children stop being robots, whether we like it or not, and start becoming mirrors. Because for years, they did everything I tell them. Right or wrong, they would just do what I would tell them. Because in their world, mom and dad were always right. No questions, no contradictions, no pushback. But then, as you may have experienced, when they started questioning me, not as rebels, but just as human beings waking up. And I hated it. It was way easier when they followed my orders without hesitation. I didn't want them correcting me, because if they did, they would see what I didn't want to show, what I didn't want to see. One day I got angry, really angry with my son, Santiago. They're now 15 and 16 years old. And I yelled at him saying, "Why don't you just do what I'm telling you to do?" And he looked at me calmly but firmly and said, "You see how you get angry? You see how you lose control?" That made me feel more angry. My ego snapped back immediately. I'm angry because I feel like it. You're nobody to tell me how to act or how to feel. Go to your room for being disrespectful. And that exchange left both of us with sadness, frustration, fear, and a deep emotional wound. And the more times I repeated that, the farther I drifted from my sons and from myself. But eventually something shifted. I began changing my perspective. I started seeing their responses not as attacks on my dignity, but as reflection of the father I was being. They weren't trying to hurt me. No, they were just holding up a mirror. That's what it was. I couldn't see it. And I hated what I saw in that mirror. So I did what wounded men do. I tried to shatter it with impulsivity, false authority, and my fear of losing control. But even then, I asked myself, do I want to stay in this competitive, confrontational mode where nobody wins? But here's the thing. Children don't know any other way. They haven't learned any other way. And probably we or me, I have, or maybe I haven't. But who is the one who's going to propose something different? Isn't it the adult, the father? Because the son, I don't think they can do that. So maybe, just maybe, I could be the one to start a new journey. And so I began slowly, awkwardly stepping into a deep uncertainty. The uncertainty of letting my children express themselves, of letting them show me the kind of men that I was becoming, without shutting them down, judging, or trying to control them or the moment. And I felt like walking into a dark room without a flashlight, uncomfortable, unfamiliar, but necessary. And I can't stand here telling you that I have reached the top level of fatherhood, if that such things exist. But I can tell you this. In the last 3 years, my two sons have taught me way more than my mom and dad taught me in 23 years. They've taught me courage. They've taught me humility. I have tattooed that word in my soul, not just with my kids, in every relationship. They've taught me how to listen, how to breathe, and most importantly, they've taught me how to come back to my true self. And in one moment of quiet clarity, I realized that my children gave me back the man I always wanted to be, because they confronted me until they shattered my anger, the need for control, and the armor I thought was protecting me. They shattered my ego. I didn't lose my sons. I lost an older version of myself. And that was the beginning of my healing. I started listening. I started breathing. I started choosing presence over perfection, connection over control, and humility over ego. And every time I allowed them to show me what I couldn't see, I discovered something new inside me: peace, wisdom, stillness, identity. The man I always wanted to be was not somewhere out there He was on the other side of the uncertainty I was afraid to experience. So here's an invitation, guys. I want to leave you with tonight. Be courageous enough to step into uncertainty and discover the fountain of peace and wisdom. Let your children question you. Let them reflect you. Let them interrupt your ego. Let them show you where you are still wounded and where you can still grow, because that's what they're telling you. Don't break the mirror. Look into it, because your children aren't trying to take power away. No, they're not. They're trying to give you back the version of yourself you lost along the way. And if you allow it, if you open that door, they will guide you exactly where you need to go. So the idea is to digest some of the things that were said. Uh, we the questions that I would ask you to share in the breakout room is, what part of the talk resonated with you? Uh, what what part of the talk gave you a signal or an idea of how to reinvent yourself as a father, which reinventing yourself is just basically start healing through being a parent, through being a father. This is the way I see fatherhood now. Believe me, it's not the way I used to see it. Uh, and the first 4 minutes, we're going to talk about that. The next 4 minutes, we'll talk about questions that would be raised in the reflection. And the last 4 minutes, what I'd like to propose, Corey and Andy, is so we all live, not live, leave with a single and easy commitment to the discovery of our better version as as fathers. Just one, not three, nothing complicated, just to make it easier for us to choose and execute. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.